Good morning and welcome. You are with the Skeinz Diaries, episode 104, 204. I keep forgetting, 204. I'm Marie, and a special edition today on a Tuesday, 25th of October. That is because, for those not in this country, it was Labour Day here yesterday. So I thought I would come to you today on a Tuesday to catch you up. And as you can see, I am wearing my Fox Bay. Yes, I let you know on a newsletter this morning. The beautiful thing about a 4-day weekend here, especially when day one was the weather was quite rubbish, is I got plenty of knitting time in. So I actually finished all the knitting on Friday and then just quietly worked through the finishing Saturday and Sunday. I was completely done yesterday. Didn't do any. In fact, it was a bit weird yesterday. I had to knit some of my Niari yesterday because I'd finished this. So hello everyone. I'll let everyone come on in. I hope you if you had a long weekend, that you had a wonderful one. It was beautiful here, and yesterday saw the return of cruise ships to our Napier port, which was very, very exciting for us. Because it just sort of, the cruise ship season has always traditionally here in the Bay been the signifier of the summer season starting. And to actually have that on Labour Day Monday, which also too is sort of like this calendar benchmark of heading into the warmer time of year. And it was really quite joyous to see, to sort of pop out, because I live right by the port. So to actually pop out and see a cruise ship sitting there after over a 2-year hiatus, nearly 3 in fact, was absolutely marvelous. So it's been so good, so absolutely good. Welcome, so glad to see everyone. So my big dilemma, of course, now is what to knit, because I've now finished this. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but now that everyone's sort of heading, big cheers, heading in, I have finished. I'm going to stand up so you can see it properly. Let's move this out of the way. Right, there we go. So, ta-da! As you can see, ease for Africa. Ease for Africa. So here's the big thing with this sweater, and I'm just going to pull my hair out of the way so you can see it. So it is V-necked at the back, as well as the deep V in the front, and that is so it can be reversible. So there it is there. Now, there's a couple of things. One thing I did is, and I'll just put it out, as you can see, it's a boxy shape, quite a boxy shape, and I have actually, the amount of shaping that I've popped in the side here, the amount of shaping that I've popped in the side is actually quite minimal. So and as you can see, it's still, you probably wouldn't even notice. So that is one. So the other thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to just spin it around. I've not done this yet, and see what it looks like the other way around. Because the entire point of this, here we go, is that it is reversible. Look at that. So here it is. So that before you just saw it as a cardigan, here it is as a sweater with the buttoned back. I'm loving it. I'll leave it this way around while we're chatting to you. There we go. I'm absolutely loving it. I can see that I'm going to get a lot of wear out of it. It's there's lots of little details in here that I didn't appreciate for something that is largely stocking stitch. So I mean, I've got this completed so quickly after knitting something like shoji, which was just required patience because it was essentially a 1x1 rib. This has gone very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. But there are some really, really nice details. So first things are the modifications. The first one, obviously, as you can see, I did do slight tapering. Not that you can really see that in the finished product. Would I do the tapering again? I think now that I've seen it's on, the amount of ease that's in there, I now have perfectly even ease all the way from bust through to hip because I'm sort of pear-shaped. So I've kept that level of ease all the way through. To be brutally honest with you, I probably could have not done the shaping and would have been just fine. I personally like having that extra wriggle room. So that was a personal choice by me. The other modification that I made was actually here in the sleeve cuff. So I ended up doing the sleeves, funnily enough, in the end as written, to the end of the tapering with the sleeve. But what I did do with the sleeve cuff is, and written in the pattern, Erica actually had the sleeve cuff done at the same needle size as the body. And I actually chose not to do that. I wanted my cuff a little bit more defined. So I actually did my sleeve cuff in 3.25 millimeter needle, and I didn't want it too long. So as you can see, I've got just beyond bracelet length. So this cuff is actually about almost about half what it should be. So I have done that quite specifically to actually shorten that cuff up, and I'm happy with it. It isn't too long. Other nice little features is this shoulder seam. Really, it breaks up the stocking stitch, gives some really nice structure to the drop shoulder. Down here, this is an exposed 3 needle bind off seam. Really, and I really like it. Really do like how she's done this. In the V-neck, she's done this in both front and back. You see it more evidently in the back, as we have a very deep V there with quite a wide set of shaping in the front, so which is really, really nice, and this nice V patterning here, which I do like, and actually the V is nice. It's just right, so I do quite enjoy that. And then on the front, it's actually a ribbing that she's done across the front, so that actually sits really, really well. And other than that, and then I've just and it's finished standard finishing. So as you can see, there you go. There's my mattress stitch seam on the inside there, and because of its boxy nature, I'll just lift this so you can see this. As you can see, that is a generous selvage, right? So I've not skimped on that selvage at all, and you can actually see that I have got there's a full stitch. In fact, I think it'll be 1.5. So that is a really, really, really generous sleeve, a generous selvage. And you know what? It's fine, because she has given you enough ease in this that you can do that generous selvage, and do that generous selvage, because I think it really does help with it sitting. I've not wet blocked this. I have only steamed it because there's so much ease in there. I don't think it needed any more ease, but I have given it a really generous steam. So I've got everything, so all of the picking up here and everything is sitting as I want it to sit. And no, I am very, very happy with it. Very, very happy with it. So if you've been, I see Vicky's in here, because I know Vicky is knitting one of these at the moment. So if you've been considering this and you've got this in your queue, if you're wanting it as more of a dressy piece, I would actually pull your positive ease back. So I would actually look at your sizing, look at the amount of ease that she's given you, and actually go quite conservative on the sizing. If I were to knit this again, I would actually potentially go down a size, if I'm quite honest. But I do like the amount of ease, but I probably will actually quite happily go down a size. So the ease is exceptionally generous. So if you're wanting this as a more dressy piece, then you would definitely, I think you may want less is more in terms of the ease. I know that when I chose this, I chose it as something that I would wear here at work, and it was in at home and for weekends, and I didn't sort of have really anything too much like that. So hence the reason I sort of thought, oh, this actually looks a bit of fun. I just need a really comfy, cozy, round home cardigan, and that's what I wanted. And I think this, and I've got Oatmeal, which is my sweater from Libby Johnson designed V-neck sweater, which I thrash and thrash and thrash, and I have a pink one and a Persian green one, and the pink one is at home, but the Persian green one sits here mostly as a sample in the shop. So I wanted to have another one that I can sort of rotate out, and hence this. So this will end up here for a good chunk of time, and in fact I've even bought another cardigan today, so I can leave this one here so you guys can all have a look. But I'm really delighted with it. Absolutely delighted. So if you have been considering casting this on, Fox Bay, Ericanite, go to rowan.com and actually download and purchase your pattern from there. Much cheaper than actually doing it via Ravelry. So that's what I've discovered. Or you can do what I do. It's part of the Pebble Island collection, and I actually bought the entire collection in book because there's actually several patterns in there that I really do quite like. So, and I may actually knock out across, the coming months, because you do get collections that you really, really do like. The yarn is Vintage Abroad DK, and the colour is Diva, voted on by you guys. I think you made a great choice. Of course, I only gave you bright colours to choose from, so I love bright colours. I love colour. So for me, this made sense. And I also wanted this cardigan to go over like what I've got on today, which is black jeans and a black t-shirt. I often have long black dresses. And so I add colour often using cardigans and accessories and shawls and scarves. That's sort of the pop of colour that I use. So I really do love this. Diva is still available. Got plenty of it. Other colours I think this would look great in is Paprika, which is very close to the colour that was used in the pattern design. Turmeric, which is this beautiful sort of cross between, it's on that border between lime and mustard. It is just fabulous. A jewel, which is a really bright, rich, intense jewel, and that was probably my second choice colour. Any of those I think would look amazing. So that's Diva there in Vintage Abroad. So, and I've got four balls sitting here. I actually used 15 balls and I've probably got a good ball's worth of part ball and scraps and swatch and all of that kind of stuff. So if you were being cautious on the size that I did, which I think was the 5th size in, you could do it on 15. I've used 16 with the sacrificial ball, as it were. And also to remember, I did do those modifications in the taper in the front and the back, which would have used up some meterage there. So definitely 15 balls is more than enough. If you wanted to go smaller sizes, as you could, the smaller sizes would comfortably get away with sort of 10, 12, 13 balls. So yeah. How's yours traveling, Vicky? You're saying you bought the book too. Yeah, there are several patterns. And jewel is Vicky's colour. Yeah, I actually am surprised at how yarn efficient this project was, and I think it's because of the 2 V's front and back. You actually lose, so like that's pretty much a ball's worth of yarn there that you're not using in a bag. So it is surprisingly yarn efficient. If you're wanting to do this, I've done Vintage Abroad DK. It is written to a 20 stitch tension on a 4.5 millimeter needle. Another thing, and I think I'm perfectly happy with the cover factor and the fabric that I've got with that. I have got gauge. I would also quite happily, the other way, if I wanted to pull back some of the ease, is to actually just drop the needle size down and knit to a 22 stitch tension and use a 4 millimeter needle to give me actually a really a nicer fabric again. You would lose around 10-12% in terms of ease, which, believe me, this has got it. It does a lot of its measurements using length, so you would have no issues there. So if you wanted to do that and play around with your gauge a little bit to actually manipulate your sizing, you could quite comfortably do that with this and have no problems whatsoever. Or conversely, you could go the other way and you could actually use a yarn which has got a little bit more bulk to it. I mean, I live in a very warm climate here, so I didn't want anything too bulky, but you could actually use a 10-ply, like Vintage Abroad 10-ply, or the Kelly & Co., or even the Skeinz Tweed that we've got on available at the moment, which is a 10-ply yarns, Aran weight yarns. It was a slight bit more bulk to them to actually fill things out a little bit more using that 4.5 millimeter needle. You'll still get your gauge, but you'll still get that boxy look. And especially if you're in a cooler climate, that actually might be a really nice option for you. The other yarns that I think would work really well with this is the new Highlander Heathers. I think this would I mean, we've got the Brigadoon and the Scotch Mist. Glencoe is coming. In fact, I'm going to put a video up on Facebook stories very shortly. It's going through the Superba today. So I took a little video of it going through the Superba. And the Glencoe is sort of like kind of looks like rich ruby port. It is just a beautiful colour. And that is being steamed as we speak. So that hopefully I probably won't get it up and through for this week, only because it's a short week for me. I'm heading off on Thursday, but definitely next week it'll be up. So this would look great in Highlander Heathers. It would also too, if you're wanting to go garment lot and with this sort of free and easy style, the new coastal cotton, I think, would work quite well with this. The only thing I would definitely say if you're considering coastal cotton would be to pull back your ease. So definitely make a smaller size because you'll get lots of relaxation with the cotton. But I think that would actually be a lot of fun as well to give you a really relaxed style sweater and cardigan using the cotton. Speaking of, this has gone like absolute hotcakes over the weekend. The girls that worked on Saturday said that was flying off the shelf on Saturday, and we've got a huge number of orders that have come through. I see that one of the colours is already sold out, and a number of them are very low. So if you were trying to order garment lots of those colours and found that you couldn't because of what we had in stock, we're going to, Claire and I already talked this morning, we're going to get a second order of this through. To get this back on the shelf for you. If it arrived as quick as the first order, it shouldn't be too far away at all. But you guys loved this. We loved it. If you're in the Speakeasy, there are already some completed projects finished and loaded up in Speakeasy of some people that have knit some hats. And they look amazing, absolutely amazing. So we can't be happier with that. And someone did ask about 4-ply cotton. We are looking at it. There is a 4-ply cotton that Queensland Collection have, which we do quite like, but cost-wise, it's just, this one is better value. It's garment cotton as opposed to dishcloth cotton, whereas this is cotton that is a multi-purpose. It can be used from dishcloths to garments to towels it's, as I said, the Goldilocks of cottons, whereas these other cottons, which are more refined for garments, are just a wee bit more expensive. So I'm just trying to find the right one. We don't want anything costing too much for everybody today. So those are going to be more of those coming back in. Speaking of more things coming back in, last week I talked about the silk merino scarf kits. You guys loved them. We sold so many of these. Oh my word, did we sell so many? So Claire has got, she ordered some more in, and the 2 colours that weren't available at the time have come back into stock, which are pomegranate and saffron. So she's got those 2 back in stock. So these are new. These kits are amazing. They're incredible value. Everything that you need there to make the scarf. We also have been adding with these some bubble wrap as well. So if your kit turned up with bubble wrap, the bubble wrap was on us because we thought this is ridiculous because you get the kit and then you'll be running around trying to find bubble wrap. We will keep including the bubble wrap as long as we can get hold of it, but we just thought that would be a nice thing to do. And these have been great, and they're such good value. They make wonderful gifts. If you're wanting to get ahead in your gift giving and you want to do something handmade and fast, you could actually make these much faster than knitting one or crocheting one. So I just think they're fantastic, and they're beautiful, and the fibres are beautiful, and they carded, and blended beautifully. That's damson. Look at that. So pretty. And this one is salvia. Look at that. That's so pretty. So those we've fully stocked on those. Those arrived about a week ago. So do make sure you check all of them out as well. So there's plenty of them still available. I'm hoping to get a dip up this week. We've had a few more dips. Ian's been playing around at the end of last week. And we've actually had some here in stock. So I'm hoping I might be able to sneak one of those up before week's end. And I'm heading away on Thursday, so there won't be a diaries on Thursday unless I can figure out how to pre-record. I'm working on it. But I'm heading up to Auckland for the weekend, so I've got some things to do up there. So I will be driving on Thursday morning. So we better not do a diaries when I'm doing that. But do make sure you keep your projects going. In terms of what's next for the needles? I've still got my Niata, which I always keep something either a Niata or a hitchhiker or some sort of scarfy, shawly type thing, small project knitting, like purse knitting, I call it. So I've still got that, which is probably what I'll take away with me. I'm not. I'm a bit torn actually. I had this conversation with a friend over the weekend. I think I'm going to do Basket Weaver next from Stephen West. I really like it. I like the look of it. I like the genius of it. I want to get that on the needles and just check it out for myself. She's just finished it and she motored through it. She absolutely loved it. She's been doing that in between the MCAL, and she said it was and she would do the MCAL and then she'd go to the Basket Weaver to actually give herself a bit of a break and then go back to the MCAL. So I think I might go there because I would love to see that Basket Weaver shawl in our roving DK. I think it will look gorgeous in that. So I think that's the plan, and that will be for the shop. And then I'm sort of a bit torn. I've got a yarn that's still available, actually. It's the last of one of the colours still left as part of the Skeinz 10 plies that have been on sale. And there is the bright green called Lima. And I just love it. It's one of those, it's a beautiful, beautiful, bright, zesty citrus green. And I'm a bit of a sucker, the bright greens. So I'm thinking I might actually do that in another Nanook. No, Nanook, yeah, in another Nanook. Because I loved that. It sits well. I like the fit on it. It is a really pleasurable thing to knit. And I think that yarn will translate into that design very well. That's by Heidi Kittemeyer. So I think that's potentially where I'll go from a garment perspective as well for the summer. So that's my thinking at this stage, but this is me, remember. It's fluid. It can change at any time. So those are sort of the plans for where I'm going. I mean, of course, and then the Highlander heathers keep coming in, and I keep thinking, oh, I really do want to cast on something in those. I know. So much knitting, so little time, but we will get there. We will get there. So do enjoy those. What else do I have to tell you? Oh, if you've been if you are waiting for your order to arrive and you're thinking, but I placed that order last week. Just remember, just as a reminder, we did have Friday off here as well. So there are a lot of orders being dispatched today. Heather is already going hammer and tongs out there getting it done. So believe me, that's why things are appearing a little bit later than usual. It's because we got an extra day off. So that's why that is. I'm going to keep going, but I hope you have a wonderful rest of week. I will catch up again with you next week. And until then, happy knitting and take care.